Hello guys, as promised, here's a video. Thank you for all your support, guys. I'm wearing lipstick today because I'm kind of going to a lunch thing, all socially distanced, of course. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna preface all of this with saying that these are all my thoughts and opinions. The reason why I have to do this is because I have to do a disclaimer. I thought it was understood, but I guess, I have to say it. By the way, so these are all my thoughts and opinions, and feel free to fact check me because I do have a job. I do own a couple of companies. I do have to work. So I don't have very much time to research. So I do a little bit of research myself and some stuff that I know. Before I go, I like to do two things. One, to thank you, all of you guys who have supported my channel and sent me contributions, bought me coffee, whatever. It actually did come handy because I have a Facebook site for my business, and suddenly I got 51 bad reviews. So I contact, in a Facebook page, you can't remove them. You have, and I've never heard of these people. I've never done business with these people. So I ended up contacting Facebook. And when I tried to contact these people to ask them what was wrong with my business, they just started abusing me and saying stuff about Meghan Markle. So I had to contact a lawyer because Facebook wouldn't take them down on their own. So a lawyer was contacted them, and then they figured out that the over 50 bad reviews came from the same IP address. So they removed them, but it was a battle. So yeah, so thank you, because it didn't help a little bit with the lawyer. I mean, and so thank you. So thank you for supporting my channel. I'm leaving the link for my account in the description of the video, and in the front of the comments. So thank you. It's very much appreciated. Now, another thing that I want to do, I'm not a woke person. I do find that being politically correct is actually being politically incorrect. I'm not a feminist, but I am an equal rights person, because I do believe that if everybody has the same rights, you get rid of the racist, for pro-racist, pro-feminist movements. If we're all equal, you don't need any of those. But that's just my belief. So the reason why I'm saying this is because what I'm about to tell you is, I'm about to ask you, is like, it's great that you use masks, but when you discard them, cut these like that, because they go around animals, birds, and they end up asphyxiating. The same thing with plastic bags. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you throwing plastic bags, but if you do, cut where the little handle, so they can't go around the animals' necks or feet. It's actually quite awful. Okay, ready? Let's start the video now. The breaking news that everybody heard was that the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen. Before I forget, one thing is, a lot of people have written me that I'm bashing Her Majesty the Queen. If you look at my earlier videos, you will see that I am a diehard monarchist. A lot of people have been commenting on the fact that now lately I seem to be trashing the Queen. It's actually quite healthy to criticize our representatives, because at the end of the day, the Queen is our representative. She's a head of state, so she's open to public scrutiny and criticism because she has to do her job. So no, I'm not bashing the Queen, but I am exposing things that need to be taken care of or dealt with, in my opinion. So for that, I'm prefacing that. So breaking news is that the Queen, Her Majesty the Queen, granted Harry's wishes to keep the royal titles without their responsibilities. And it's being hailed as though it's a big deal. First of all, Harry never wanted those, never cared about those, patronages or roles. He gave them up when he left. He actually, even before he left, he actually never did anything. We had the Disney premiere, remember, when he's pimping Meghan Markle. So I find that from Her Majesty the Queen to be an insult to the UK and the Commonwealth. I am part of the Commonwealth. I am a Canadian. So it is very insulting to say, hey, by the way, and not only that, they phrased it in such a way that is, they gave him back. They should have been stripped. Now, the roles and patronages, for people who don't understand, those were his responsibilities that came attached with having royal titles. Now, she's removed all their responsibilities, but none of the titles. What's going on? I am going to leave quite a few links. So for you to see, I mean, they're not going to be that many, like 4 or 5. But so for you to get an idea how much research I do, and those 4 links are just 4 of the many I go through. But I find them that they're very interesting. It's not the roles and responsibilities that needed to go because they abandoned those responsibilities and they never took them seriously. It is the royal titles. Now, I got quite a few, a shout out to Bookworm 2, because I am going to leave a link to that video where she's talking about the Princess Trust USA. Yes, because right around the time when Meghan Markle and Harry left, Prince Charles started setting up offices in the United States of America in New York for an office for the Princess Trust USA. USA is not part of the Commonwealth. God knows that the UK needs the help more than the US, and he's the Prince of the United Kingdom, not of the United States of America. So I am wondering whether that is a way to siphon funds to Harry and Meghan, because he's still funding them. So I'm gonna leave that link for her video. Now, a few of you have sent me links of Lady C video, one of Lady C's videos, asking me to give my comments on that. I'm not bashing or trashing her. I actually looked at it because you asked me to. I used to be a follower, not anymore, but I did look at the video. I must say I laughed a little bit because I thought it was funny. I agree with most of what she says, except this. When she said that the judge was naive and didn't know, and that Prince Charles and the palace wanted their day in court. I completely disagree with that. First of all, there's no such thing as a naive judge who doesn't know what's going on. Because if that is the case, I'm sorry, I'm going to swear on a Sunday, what the fuck is he doing being a judge to begin with if he doesn't know what the hell's going on around him? Okay? So there are no judges, there's no such thing as naive judges. There's judges with an agenda, which is what Mr. Warby is, or Lord Warby, whatever it is. And Palace, absolutely, especially Prince Charles, did not want this to go to court. I actually do think that he's trying to set this case up as precedent because he has been fighting for at least a decade, the press, because the press actually took it all the way to the Supreme Court, and they won. That the letters that Prince Charles keeps writing to Parliament, meddling in Parliament, are to be made public. He fought for 10 years, and he went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, yes, you actually do have to show those letters. But only the letters prior to 2011, because since Parliament and Prince Charles knew that there was no way that they could keep those letters private, they changed the Freedom of Information Act to make all correspondence between all royal members, all members of the royal family, to members of Parliament sealed so nobody can see them, even if they are in the public interest of the people, even if what Prince Charles is writing is in detriment to the UK, which is disgusting. And this was done in conjunction with members of parliament. The reason why they're doing that is because they know that Prince Charles is helping their agenda of some of the members of parliament, and to quiet the ones that were actually complaining about him writing to so many members of parliament, showing their support and meddling in politics. So no, I disagree with her when she says that Charles and Palace were happy. No, of course they all interfered. Now, I am telling you, A&L, Associated Newspapers Limited, is going to appeal. And they have good grounds to appeal because Meghan Markle claimed that she could not present the text messages or communications because they were deleted. So the right thing to do would have been then, because the next thing to do is, since you've deleted the messages, we have to call the 5 witnesses and Carolyn Durant and Omid Scooby, who have publicly stated, plus the 4 people from Palace, to tell us really whether you wanted this letter made private or not, or public. There's no such thing. So there wasn't enough evidence for the judge to make that ruling. So those are the grounds for the appeal, I believe, one of the grounds for the appeal from A&L. Because in order for a judge to make a summary judgment, all evidence has to be submitted. And the most important one was not submitted. Because another important thing that I've been saying about is People magazine will have to be called in. Because by law, in newspapers anyways, whenever before you're going to publish an article, you have to give that person a right of reply to decide whether or not and to give any comments. But you send it. So if People magazine sent a right of reply, contacted Meghan Markle's offices or Meghan Markle prior to the publication of the article, then she committed another act of perjury when she said that she didn't know they were going to publish and she only found out after. So yeah, I do believe that they are. And the shit is going to hit the fan when they have to be called. And it has nothing to do with the interview with Oprah. It has nothing to do with that because she's free to do interviews. But it has to do with the fact that the judge made a decision, made a summary judgment without all the evidence needed to make that judgment. So that's going to be the appeal. And I'm pretty sure that the appeal is going to be accepted and it is going to go to court. Fingers crossed. Now, in regards to Prince Charles, I am going to get to Meghan and Oprah, don't worry. In regards to Prince Charles, a lot of people say that there's nothing you can do when a king is against the monarch. You're wrong. All you have to do is read a little bit of history. I'll leave that link over there, also included. In 1649, King Charles I was tried, found guilty, and executed for treason. The treason was that he was using his position for his own benefit against his own people. Yep, so there you have it. So it can be done. And he was killed. He was executed. Then King Charles II fled the country like a good coward he is. And that was in 1649. And it wasn't until 1685 when James II came back. There was a period of almost 15 years that the United Kingdom was without a monarchy. And when James II was instituted, was under the certain to be a constitutional monarchy. So yes, it can be done. Because basically what has happened is that they have gone unchecked and unaccountable for things that now I don't think King Charles is going to be, the third is going to be there. Because nobody wants him. There's just too much, somebody said absolute power corrupts absolutely, which is what's happened right now. Now, for people who say the letter's patent and the Queen, okay, there's a myth that Princess Anne refused to have her children's with titles. I have bad news for you. George V issued a letter's patent stating that only the sons of the male heirs could have titles. This is why Princess Anne's children do not have any titles. Her Majesty the Queen did offer to amend and issue a new letters patent to Princess Anne and said, your children can also have HRH and have a title. But Princess Anne said, no, it's okay. That the letters patent I don't want to make a fuss. Just, and at that time, the royal family was not very popular. So she said, let it go. But it wasn't that she said to the Queen, I don't want my kids to have a title. It was actually stipulated in the letters patent. Now, the HRH titles. The HRH titles are only to go to the Queen's children. Once the Prince of Wales has a child, a male child, only the eldest son of the Prince of Wales and the son of the oldest son and his grandchild, and his first grandchild, can have and hold the title of HRH and Prince. This is why. So therefore, Harry and his kids cannot hold that title HRH. It's only the eldest child of the Prince of Wales. This is why Her Majesty the Queen in 2012 issued another letters patent saying that all of Prince William's children would be HRH and would be prince and princesses. Because the letters patent prior to that said that no, only the eldest child of the eldest son of Prince of Wales can be HRH and a prince. Why am I going with this? It's because the Queen can issue letters patent to amend everything. A lot of people are going on that I can kind of see why she's going with this. The Queen has been given HRH titles like it's candy, Halloween candy, So therefore it depreciates the value because HRH is His or Her Royal Highness. Is for people who are like the first son. He is going to be king. You know what I mean? It's not that he's in the line of succession. So that's one of the things. So the Queen actually can remove Harry's titles. A letters patent needs to be issued because I read an article, and again, this is just an article that I'm reading where it says that Her Majesty the Queen is not even in the realm of possibilities that she's going to remove the titles from Harry. Why? Those titles were obtained by fraud. A lot of people are saying that, Harry was born a prince. Wait a minute. Prince Philip was a prince of Greece, I think, or something like that. Then he renounced his being a prince in order to marry Queen Elizabeth, Princess Elizabeth at the time. And it wasn't until 1957, almost 10 years after being married, that the Queen made him prince again. So these titles can be taken away. These titles can be removed and granted. The press and many people are going, hooray, victory. The Queen removed the roles and responsibilities from Harry. So that's what he always wanted. It's not difficult. And at this time, I think that the entire people are saying Parliament is not going to go for it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Parliament will go for it. Absolutely, Parliament will go for it. All because it is a formality only. I mean, Parliament did not want King George to make the former King Edward a royal duke. They didn't want him to get any titles. And the only reason, and again, I repeat myself, the only reason why he got royal titles is because King George wanted the properties that belonged to him before he left. He really wanted Balmoral and Sandringham and all the other states that belonged to Edward. So they struck a deal and saying, I want to be royal. I want to be a duke. And I will sell you the properties. And that is why. But Parliament didn't want him to be in the line of succession, nor be a royal duke, have any ties with royalty. I'm pretty sure that Parliament will sign the letters patent that the Queen issues in regards to Harry and Meghan. But it's mostly Harry, because Meghan has nothing. And this is another thing. It's like Meghan is only using his title. So if the Queen needs to issue a letters patent stating that foreigners, only British citizens, can hold or use royal titles. Ex-spouses cannot use the titles. The royal titles cannot be used in public for financial enterprises and financial gain, for personal businesses, for financial gain. In this case, people are, if they don't want to go that far, if I were the queen, I would say that Harry can only use his titles in the United Kingdom and nowhere else. That way she would have to force his ass to come to the United Kingdom once in a while. But yeah, that is one of the options, because nobody's talking about the HRH, nor the Duke, nor Prince titles. My guess is that if she removes Harry from the line of succession, Prince Andrew is next up. And we all know the situation with Prince Andrew. And Prince Andrew is her favorite son, but I really think he has to go. He really has to go. The newspapers have been going on about this Earl Strathmore, I think, it's something that his titles are being removed because he was found guilty of sex attack or something like that. His title, not his roles or responsibilities, his titles are being removed. And it's the same with Harry. Now, in regards to Meghan and Oprah, okay, people, Meghan has nothing to say about the royal family. I know I've been bashing a little bit or criticizing a lot the royal family, but they actually did do that. They did right by her. In fact, she cannot accuse him of racism because the only thing positive in her favor was the fact that her mother is black. Because she's not black, she's like me, white. Her skin is white. That was the only positive thing, because I'm pretty sure that the royal family knew she was a shady character. They sat her ass down and Prince Harry's ass, and they said, listen, get to know each other. Have some time, take some time. Get to know what their responsibilities, because again, people, let's phrase things correctly. It is responsibility, not sacrifices. When you work or I work and we apply for a job, there's a job description. I remember one time when I was in a job, I was wearing really nice, smart black jeans. I was sent back and said, listen, I know that the jeans are smart black, but they're still jeans. Go back and change. There's a dress code, there's a code of behavior, there's responsibilities. They were told, listen, Meghan Markle can remain a private citizen without any titles until she gets to know. She even had job security because they said, listen, get to know what their responsibilities are, what the royal family, what their royal duties are. Because they are serious responsibilities. They are public servants. And we're going to get to my last point here. So they did right by her. They did say, listen, it is a lot of responsibility because you will become part of an institution. Because the problem with Harry and Meghan Markle is that they don't understand that they're minor royals. That the royal family were doing them a favor to include them. They really were. Harry is a minor royal. He really is. They were doing them a favor to include them. But in their heads, they think like, Harry thinks like he's the king, or that he should be the king, and he's wrong by his brother, by this stupid line of succession thing. And Meghan Markle thinks she's Princess Diana, they were haunting her. No, she was getting caught right, left, and center how much she lied. And in the book, apparently Samantha verifies that it was Meghan Markle's newspaper guy who contacted them to set up the photo shoot, to clean up his image. They hadn't heard of him. They didn't know who he was. He contacted them out of the blue. So I've always been saying that it was Meghan Markle who set that up. It would be nice to offer that guy money and have him talk. But anyways, I digress. So the royal family did right by her. They said this and this and that. We're not gonna give you any titles if you're not going to work, to give you a chance to get to know their responsibilities. So Meghan Markle, what does he have to say? More lies. And I really think that she's going to hint that her father abused her, which is going to be horrible for Mr. Markle. Mr. Markle truly is the victim here. Her side of the family, on the father's side, have been horribly victimized. Because if you know, the press never said anything mean about the Raglands. And God knows there's quite a lot of dirt there. But I didn't touch them because they were black. That in itself is racism. Because, you have to treat everybody equal. Just because your skin is dark or yellow or Latin like me or whatever, it doesn't mean that I don't do bad things. That was a positive, what I call positive discrimination, that we're not going to talk bad about you because you're black. No, Actually, that's abusing the race card. Only they picked on the Markle family like crazy, and Meghan allowed that. But I really do think she's going to hit something like that. Now, I hope Oprah doesn't explore, because that would really kill her father. She set her father up. It was disgusting. There's nothing new she's going to say. The interview is going to be like the Panorama interview with Princess Diana and Prince Charles, because they are really that sick in the head that they think that they are that important. They're not. Harry's not the heir to the throne. He's a minor, stupid, unintelligent royal. Now, people also say that, oh, he was born a prince. No. He was made a prince when he was born. You know what I mean? He was born a ginger, but he was not born a prince. He got that title with a letters patent in regards to him. So the letters patent, another letters patent can be issued to do that. But to summarize everything, I'm sorry that this has been a little bit of a long video. To summarize, Meghan is just going to try to justify and twist around her interpretation of why she left the royal family. She can't bitch about them being bad, because they have always been kind to her. And the same for Harry. They're gone on public interviews saying that they were like the family she never had. Now they're going to claim that, oh, they were just putting on a show. The Queen's mistake was not to force him to wait a couple more years before the marriage. She should not have given consent. There was a reason for the Royal Marriages Act to prevent this kind of shit. A letters patent has to be issued. People, don't buy this that the palace wanted the trial. That is BS. They absolutely did not want. Prince Charles has been championing for a decade at least, so that his letters remain private, and all his meddling remains private. And the UK Supreme Court has ruled against them. Parliament, people have to lobby and write to their MPs to have the 2011 Freedom of Information Act amended once again. So there's transparency with the communications between the royal members and Parliament. They shouldn't be writing. You know, the Queen or the monarch only has right to be consulted, right to encourage, and right to warn. That's it. If anything, maybe we should go back to like Malaysia and in Cambodia. They have elective monarchies, which means that every so many years they meet to decide whether they want to continue with the monarchy. That way it keeps them honest and accountable. Meghan Markle is trash. Harry is trash with a crown. If you look from what I saw, from what they sent me, they issued immediately, and they are in communication with Palace. They issued the communique 3 minutes after Palace, so they are in communication. Please don't think that they're not in communication, okay? Of course they are. And of course they issued it with their logo, which is a crown. The Queen has to deal with it. If she doesn't want to remove Harry's titles, fine, but issue a letters patent stating that he can only use those titles in the United Kingdom. That's it. In game over. He won't be able to use the prince or duke or anything anywhere else except the United Kingdom. For all of those diehard people. But I really do think it's time to regulate the letter with the letters patent. What do you think? Read. Please leave nice comments, okay? Let's engage in positive conversation. And I do appreciate your attention. I'm sorry it was a little bit of a long video. You have a great Sunday, guys.